half the things I learned in medical school, it turned out to be wrong. I remember attending a lecture in medical school where viruses couldn't make reverse transcriptase, and it was impossible. Well, now things like AIDS virus, they're reverse viruses. They make reverse transcriptase. So the whole concept of viruses that could do that, I was taught in medical school, is impossible. And here we have thousands of people dying of impossible diseases now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Now that we're making such advances, it's like nothing is impossible anymore.
Right, but doctors are stuck in a way of thinking that if it wasn't learned in medical school, it isn't right. And they poo-poo all the alternative kinds of healers because they didn't learn that in medical school, so therefore it couldn't possibly be right. And it's ridiculous. People get healed every day by mechanisms that we don't understand.
Even their own faith.
Whatever heals people. I always tell
they don't have to go to anybody if they talk about the will to live.
Yeah, but I mean, if people understood.
One woman said they told her she had 6 months to live, and she said, "I don't think so." She could have bought into it, and how many people do? They go home and die because the doctor says they're going to die.
I've seen it many times.
It has to do with belief systems.
Indeed.
But if you just say, "Well, no, I'm not ready to. I've got other things I want to do," but then the doctors are always telling them, "Well, no, I know this is the way the mechanism, the body, the vehicle works."
Most of us don't know what our beliefs are. Our belief system does run us, but most of us have no clue what those beliefs are.
Maybe that's why we are, that would be a good explanation why you're given the illness, you're given the disease, so you can be put to the test to see what your belief system is.
Well, I'll give you an example. People with asthma that can't breathe, they're very often afraid of dogs.
Afraid of dogs.
Afraid of dogs. And often what's happened is when they're a child, when they're an infant, they've been attacked by a dog, or a big dog's rushed up to them, and it causes them to take a real deep breath and hold it out of fear.
Yeah.
That's locked in them. It's sort of an emotional, locked-in belief that the world's an unsafe place, and it's manifested as, and the proof of it's this big dog just attacked me and I'm so little. And that belief of the world's an unsafe place will trigger asthma for the rest of their life. But they have no clue that the belief underlying the difficulty breathing has something to do with the belief in fear of a dog or fear of the world as an unsafe place. They don't make that connection in any way whatsoever.
Because it's buried deep in their mind.
Very, very deep. It happened when they were 3 months old or 3 years old. They don't have a clue. So a lot of the beliefs that run us are things like that happen when we're very, very little. We don't have a clue what the beliefs are.
Stress, it brings it out.
Yeah, you could bring it out with hypnosis.
Well, I have many, many cases of asthma that I've helped. We found out where it comes from. But I just had my last client yesterday who had some medical problems, and he had no idea where it come from, and we were thinking it was past lives, but when we took him under, the subconscious said it was something that happened when he was 4 years old.
Right.
And he had no memory of that being that young at all. He had no memory of anything that had happened at that time.
Right.
And, I'm not naming any names, so I says it's okay to talk about it, but his parents had divorced at that time. And he had always said, well, it didn't bother me any, because I don't remember anything that happened at that time. But he said his grandmother came to visit him a few years ago, and he was talking to her, and he says, well, I turned out pretty good. I didn't have any effects from the divorce. She said, oh, yes, you did. You were hiding in the closet every day crying. And he had no memory of that.
Right.
So the subconscious said that was what was causing his physical problems. He felt he was responsible for the parents breaking up. And, a child doesn't know any different, and they're not responsible. But that's the logic of a child, and it carried over with him no memory, no conscious memory at all, that was what was causing the problem now.
Right.
So a lot of these things are very, very deep.
But that's the way beliefs are. We think beliefs cause illness, and we tell people, well, change your belief. But the person has no idea what their belief is unless they come across someone like you that can hypnotize them, or they can have some kind of a deep recognition of the belief. Yeah,
if they went in meditation, some way to find it. But would they believe it or not? But that's the thing, it's to let it go. You're not responsible. It happened to a child. You had nothing to feel like that about it. And that's one of the reasons why the diseases go away then. We find he was punishing himself.
Right. I think one of the things about John of God is that there's such tremendous faith around him. When you go there, you're struck with the people that volunteer. There's, dozens of people who've given up their jobs and lives. Some of them are doctors, some are lawyers, some, important people in Brazil, and they've given up their lives just to volunteer to help people in the clinic. And you see the absolute faith of the people, and they're praying, and they're, down on their knees, or they're meditating for hours, and I think it's a community effort, a community spirit, a community energy. And as I say, he calls it corrente, which means current. Sitting in his current, or in the current room, when you put 100 people together meditating and praying with a healer for hours in a room, a lot of things happen. A lot of shifts happen in people that are really powerful. That just that faith creates a new belief system, and that they may not get understanding what their beliefs are, but they have a new belief system now of faith, and I think that helps to heal them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You get that many people together with that kind of loving energy, it's going to perform miracles anyway.
Yeah. It's a real environment for miracles.
The accumulation of the energy.
Right.
And it's going to have some kind of an effect.
And John of God calls his place a spiritual hospital. He says there are hundreds, if not thousands, of spirits that are here attending, helping out, so that it's not just his energy or the people's energy in the room. There's spirits that want to help out, come there and help.
Mm-hmm. And you said you built a house down there, so you could go down there about once a month or so?
Well, I go down about 3 times a year. My wife goes all the time. She's there right now, and she takes people that want to go there. She makes all the arrangements and takes them there. And
people from the States? People
from the States, people from England, Australia, wherever they want. She has a website that people can look her up on and email her and stuff.
Yeah, why don't you give that out? I think that's important.
It's touch-star. The word touch, Touch, the hyphen, and then the next word star, STAR.com.
And you can find out from her then how to make arrangements to go down there to see John of God.
Yeah, well, I'll give you her email too.
Okay, because a lot of people say, well, yeah, I'd like to go, but how do I get there?
So she makes it really simple. Her email is heartinbliss, all one word, heart, H-E-A-R-T, in bliss, all one word, heartinbliss@yahoo.com.
Heart of bliss?
Heart in bliss.
That's just the letter N?
I-N.
I-N, heart in bliss.
Heart in, like 3 words, heart in bliss, but just written all together.
I thought you were saying and in there.
Heart
so it's heart, Heart,
INBLISS. Heart in bliss.
That's her email.
At yahoo.com. And she's in Brazil right now. I just got an email from her a minute ago.
Yeah, she said, we got an email from you saying you wanted to know what website this was going out on so she could hear it.
She was trying to find an internet cafe in Brazil where she could go hear us.
I hope she was able to find it.
I hope so. She was on the internet writing me saying, what time's the show?
I think that's extremely important because people out there listening, they want to do this, and they know there's lots of faith healers, but they don't know how to get down there.
Well, she makes it easy. She makes the plane reservations, picks them up at the airport, takes them hand in hand to see John of God, gets the hotel, does everything. It's people don't have to do a thing. They get off the plane and they're taken care of.
Oh, I think that's wonderful. You're doing a great service.
Well, it's a selfish service. We love to be there, and we love to be in his presence, and we love to see the people. I take pictures of people the day they get there, and I take pictures of them the day they leave, and you wouldn't believe the difference in their eyes. It's like there's a light in the eyes that wasn't there when they get there. And I tell people when I come home, the worst culture shock isn't going to Brazil. The worst culture shock is coming home and seeing the deadness in the people's eyes and faces in the airport.
Back to civilization.
Back to civilization. With the people in the Casa, the people around John of God, they light up with a new light. You can just see the energy flowing in their bodies and their eyes.
So I'm writing this down. It's touch-star.
Right, .com.
.com, S-T-A-R. touch-star.com is the website.
Right.
And if they want to get hold of your wife, it's Heart in Bliss.
Heart in Bliss, all one word, at yahoo.com.
Yahoo.
And they can also go to the website and connect with her on the internet, on the
Yahoo.com.
link to her.
Okay, yeah, well, what is your wife's name in case they want to contact her?
Catalina Ely.
Catalina.
I like the island of Catalina.
C-A-N-T?
C-A-T-A-L-I-N-A, Catalina.
Catalina. Okay.
Kathleen in Spanish.
C-A-N-T-A-T-I-L-A.
Catalina. C-A-T-A-L-I-N-A.
Oh, okay, I had too many T's. All right, I want to write this down and put it in my Rolodex and it's Catalina Ely.
Right.
Yeah, in case people start emailing me and want to have more information about it. You won't believe it, Haines. I'm looking out my window while we're talking. There's 4 deer looking right in my window at me and 2 little babies.
Oh, how nice.
Prawns. I wonder if they're being drawn to the energy or what, but they're all around the house this time of night. I just had to say that. It's so beautiful.
You know what deer love? We just discovered this. Catalina chopped up a watermelon rind and tossed it out in our yard.
Yeah.
And there were deer all over it. They just think it's candy. I never would have thought deer would like watermelon rind.
Well, I'm so far out in the mountains, I throw my garbage outside all the time, and it's probably what attracts them.
Yeah.
They love it, and the raccoons like it, too.
And they probably love your energy, too.
Oh, yeah, because it's so peaceful here. Because, I travel everywhere, and I have to come back here to recharge my batteries. But I'm going to put this on my Rolodex, too, and if anyone wants to contact me to find out about this, I think this is a valuable service that you're doing by helping people to get down there. Because, you just can't go to a travel agent and say, I want to go down there.
No, it's a lot of hops to get there, but she makes it so easy. She either rents a bus or a taxi or whatever it takes to however many people come and has them right there at the airport, and it's all all done. Nobody has to even look around for how to get there.
That's wonderful. And then you're running your practice there in Grass Valley.
Oh yeah, I
so
see patients every day.
You can't go all the time.
No, I can't go as often as I'd like. I've got a daughter in college too. I got to stay here and work.
Okay. But I know you said you did build a house down there, so you
I go as often as I
can. Back.
I go as often as I can. I love to go on the trips, see people.
Yeah, I'm watching the clock because I'm supposed to stop about 5 till. But one more question.
Anything.
Does John of God doesn't? He's not paid for his services or anything,
oh, no,
is he?
Absolutely not. He says if he charges anything, God will take away his powers of healing.
That's what I was wondering, because some people say, he's probably making lots of money doing
No, he won't charge a thing. He's independently wealthy. He's a businessman. He has a gold mine, an emerald mine, a huge ranch in a town near Abidjania. He used to have a car dealership. I mean, he's very, very wealthy.
A long cry from the 16-year-old who didn't have anything.
Well, actually, the spirits told him to buy a piece of land, and he begged, borrowed, and stole for years to get the money, down payment for the land.
Yeah.
And when he got the land, he discovered emeralds on it. He has a fabulous emerald mine. That was the source of his wealth. Spirits told him to buy this worthless piece of land that nobody wanted.
So they've given him personal advice, too, then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and basically he says, I do this healing for free, and I've got plenty of money, from my own stuff, so he doesn't accept anything.
Well, I think that should be one strike against the skeptics who'll say, well, he's doing this to make money.
No, he doesn't make a dime. And like I say, the people that work with him are all volunteers.
But I think this is wonderful, and you're really to that. He's telling me we have to stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, great talking to you, Dolores.
All right, and I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you a lot for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.